that is just touched on but never fully realized. And so this horn of Abraxas, like, where did someone like Jeremiah get this horn? Because to me, he's a little fucking bitch. And there's no way, like, how is this guy getting demon artifacts? I don't know. It's never explained. The second demon artifact, and arguably the only other one in the movie, the Dagger of the Pale Knight that is stabbed in Nick Cage's side. And it is a fucking demon thing. It's got a fucking eye in the pommel. It's fucking crazy looking. Has no effect on the movie whatsoever. Is never seen again. The wound is never even mentioned again. Why? Why is this in the movie? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, they could have literally just stabbed Nick Cage in the side with any other dagger, a regular dagger. But no, it had to be this specific dagger, and it had to be shown in this light. It was shown in the same light as the Horn of Abraxas, the same ambient strobing light that indicated otherworldly strangeness, and nothing was done with it. I thought there could have been. I was thinking, me and my buddy Lucas, we were talking about like things they could have done with it, like if the dudes were actually like these demonic entities, and they are obviously. Maybe that could have been like the only way he could have killed them was using this dagger. Somehow he gets the dagger, and that's how he can kill these things. But that's never elaborated on, and like I said, none of these artifacts are shown again, which is a crying shame because it's definitely, for me, one of the cooler parts of the movie. And I even think they could have done something with the Horn of Abraxas where Nick Cage like gets it from the guy who's his right-hand man and uses it to call the demon bikers and then trick them or whatever, like trap them and or hunt them down one by one or whatever. And that brings me to my next gripe is that the demons are dealt with really kind of not easily, but definitely like way sooner than they should have been, in my opinion. I think there should have been far more of a climax on that occasion of him fighting these, fucked up demon biker things, but it's not. And the ending is kind of a slow burn, disappointing. It was disappointing to me on the second run. The first time I was kind of a little too in shock from the whole experience of it all to really kind of like take it all in. But on the second run, I would say the ending could have been done a lot better. There is a scene when you're first introduced to Jeremiah where he tells her to fetch. He tells I say it like you've seen the fucking movie. Maybe you have, but he tells one of the women to go fetch the guy who's got the Horn of Abraxas, and he's like, he talks like a demon. He talks like those demons do, and I was like, man, he's got something in him. He's got some of that evil in him or whatever. That is, the voice is beyond. Like, it's not just him just being crazy. Like, it actually is some kind of other something from the outside. But that's not elaborated on. It's never explained. That fucking sucks, dude. Whoever the filmmaker is of this film, I probably should have looked up and like been able to tell you. Although I've watched some of his films, I'm terrible at that kind of shit. I would say that you did not know what you were doing with your movie when you wrote it. In fact, I would say that you did not even have parts of it written when you started directing it. That is how this movie looks, and I'm not saying that's bad. I mean, that is bad. That's dumb as fuck. But I'm not saying the movie was bad though. I think the movie is good. I just think that there is some thoughts in it that are never fully elaborated, and I think that is caused by just over-focus. The director's focused too hard on the cinematography in a sense, which is incredible. I would say that's 10 out of 10. Every scene is chosen very well. From the scene work in the beginning, showing the Shadow Mountains and all the beauty of the forest, to the meeting of the demons, when each demon is shown in a red light, like boom, 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 like it's very, very visceral. It's got a lot of character. I appreciate that, but I also think that there's just not enough power in the ending. It's like you got all this gasoline burning, and there's just nothing. This the burn at the end was almost not even worth it. And so to wrap up my gripes, nothing really done with the Eldritch shit. Nothing really elaborated on with the Eldritch artifacts, demon lore, the voices in Jeremiah's head that are talking to him, and even the giant fucking alien hornet thing. I was thinking there was going to be a lot more with that and how it stung Mandy, but no, there wasn't. And I'd say final gripe, gonna quit bitching, is that I think they should not have killed Mandy. And I know there's a lot of people who are gonna disagree with me probably on this, because it is like the catalyst in a sense for Nicolas Cage's rage, and like the fuel for his like this revenge story kind of. But I don't think so. I don't think that he needed that to go on. And the reason I think that it was a bad decision is because the character Mandy herself is a great character, and we spend half the film getting to know her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we spend half a film getting to understand this character, getting to see into the life of Red and Mandy, this married couple who obviously only want seclusion and peace in their lives, and we begin to feel for them. We kind of get the beat of their relationship in our own hearts, in a sense. Maybe I'm reaching a little bit. Maybe some people didn't feel it that strongly, but when I watch films, I kind of I see that kind of characterization, that pull. I can get into it. I would say that it's a shame that she is killed, and that it would have been a much better film if she had not died and she had been instead abducted and taken by this cult, and Nick goes and saves her. I know that's cliche, and I know it would even have been cliche for him to go and save her and then for some reason have to like kill her. Like if my buddy Lucas was thinking when she got stung by the alien hornet thing that it would like impregnate her or do something weird, like make her the host of some kind of demon thing, and Nick Cage would have to like blow her fucking head off at the end of the movie. That's definitely not the case, and so that is just something that I think that was a bad decision, buddy. Mr. Director Man, I think you should make a second cut of the film and make it so Mandy doesn't die, and then add all the others, like keep all the scenes in it, maybe rearrange them, and that's also I keep saying that's also this and this and this. It's like when am I gonna have a final thought? But it's hard to have one with this movie. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to it, and that's also part of it too. Is that there's not a lot to it. It's simple. It's a simple formula, but it's intricate. It's got an intricate piece by piece. It's like looking at a fine piece of art, even though it looks simple. It took a long time to make, and in that sense, I have a strong feeling that this movie was made in scenes, and that those scenes were switched around and changed and interlocked. And I think that's a weakness in this film, is that this movie feels like it was pieced together. And I don't know if anyone else will feel the same, but I do strongly recommend being high as fuck watching this movie, because if you're not, Um, I, I don't know. If you don't smoke, that's totally fine. Whatever. I'm not like endorsing it or whatever. I'm just saying that I think the filmmaker wants people to be fucking stoned when they watch this movie, because it's hard to watch this movie in any other state of mind. And I watched it sober the first time I saw it, and the second time I was pretty blazed. And I liked it the second time a little more, even though it felt a little slower. So, with that being said, all the negatives aside, oh my god, there is one more negative, and that is the scenes that are trying to be funny. And specifically, let me think about them in order. There's a scene where the guy blows the horn of Abraxas, and he gets back into the van, and they're waiting for the demon bikers to show up, and one of the cult members is rolling a window up and down, up and down, up and down. He does it like 3 or 4 times. And I don't know if it's trying to be funny, or if it's trying to show like how incompetent the other cult members are, and how they really don't know what the fuck is going on. But it's fucking stupid. And it's fucking dumb. It has no place in the fucking film. And I don't know if it's like the filmmaker trying to like... I feel like there's a lot of Andy Warholing in this film. There's a lot of this... I'm so artistic, in a sense. Like, look how great I am. And I don't know. It's like, feels like the director's like, blah, like jerking himself off. In these scenes where he's trying to almost be too abstract. When I feel like the beat of this movie was supposed to be serious the full way through. And how it should be. And I definitely feel like it should have been just like bam, bam, bam. Hardcore, grindhouse, no bullshit. And then the next scene where there's like this weird, uncommon nature comedy is the slightly disturbing scene where Nick Cage is walked back in his house after, seeing his burnt wife, and the Cheddar Goblin commercial. And I know this is going to become a thing, Cheddar Goblin. I know there's going to be T-shirts. It's funny, but it is definitely out of place. And I only say that because I feel like I understand where the filmmaker was going with this decision to have this commercial in it. And I believe what he was meaning by this scene was to show that, yes, these terrible things have just happened, and this otherworldly, surreal, insane shit has just gone down, but the world is still moving. And the world is moving. It's like, the reality is still there. And this is like reality. Like, there's this commercial with like a Cheddar Goblin. Everything's better with cheddar. It's like stupid as fuck. And it made me laugh, but I don't want to laugh. I did not want to laugh at too much of this movie. And even though I found myself laughing at some scenes, like scenes where Nicolas Cage is like fighting this demon biker firing a shotgun at him, and he's screaming, you ripped my shirt, you ripped my shirt. Like, I'm saying you ripped my shirt, by the way, but like, just shit like that. That's classic Nick Cage. I love that shit. And that almost makes sense to the context of it, because he's kind of going fucking crazy. But yeah, I didn't like the scenes that were trying to be funny throughout the film. And then so lack of in-depth lore, lack of kind of understanding of the pacing of a film, in a sense. Like, it was too slow. The beginning's too slow. Like I said before, I know there is another cut of the film that is notably shorter. Supposedly it is a masterwork. I'd like to watch that. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm kind of getting off a train of thought. Let me switch gears back. So, positives of Mandy. I would say the first things that pop to mind are acting. Acting, 9 out of 10. Some of the people in the film, I would say 10 out of 10. Mandy herself, the actress who played Mandy, phenomenal. Nicolas Cage, this is Nick Cage at his best. I would say this is probably one of the best films he's ever fucking been in, period. Next to Lord of War. And that's saying something. Although, is that really saying something? People talk a lot of shit about Nicolas Cage, and I understand why. And I know he's sold out a fair bit because of all the insane things he buys and the debts he in. The debt he is in. But this movie proves that Nick Cage can act. And I think this will silence a lot of naysayers and haters who watch this film. We talk a lot of shit about this man, and because he's got some serious chops in the expression of emotion department. And I would say 10 out of 10 some scenes, 9 out of 10 the full film. His acting is really good. Arguably the best actor in the film, Jeremiah, the villain. He's in your face. He's real. He's gritty. You can almost feel the slime on this guy, like how disillusioned he is, how fucking his delusions of grandeur are so well put. And I get a lot of Beyond the Black Rainbow vibe from this guy, and I think that is something that this director is very skilled at, is making a disturbing villain. And not only making disturbing villains, but making disturbing turns of character. I keep using the word disturbing. But I'm thinking more like ethereal, I guess. Like he always has this dreamlike essence to his movies, and I like it. I think it's very cool. I think this director has done a fuckload of acid, and I mean, I know he has. You watch this fucking film and you've done acid, you know he has. And I think he's very pretentious as well. And that brings me to kind of where I think this film fell the shortest. Even though I was talking about positives. It's at the end of it all, there's just no wrapping up of the coolest shit in the movie. It just all hangs loose, and then it's just cut short. Nick Cage is crazy at the end. That's it. Boom. It's over. And I think that's just like this director jerking himself off, man. I'm so great. Like, that's definitely what it is, man. I mean, there's people will argue, but this dude, whoever this director is, you're a great director, dude. I know you'll never watch this shit, but I do think that you're full of your own shit, and that you think you're like you're phenomenal or some shit. I don't know, but you do have phenomenal work. You got some phenomenal scenes in your movie. I just think your storytelling still needs work, and definitely better film than Beyond the Black Rainbow. Way better film. And I wouldn't even say Beyond the Black Rainbow was a good movie. I would just say that the scenes in it are like I said, very atmospheric, dreamlike. He's got that vibe. The guy's got the vibe for it down. It's good. Final review. Final words on Mandy. As I almost reach a fucking hour on this review of the whole fucking film. 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. A low 7. Is that even possible? A low 7? Yeah, low 7. High 6. And I would say 1 point taken off because of length. I think the movie's entirely too long for what it is. I think the beginning scenes could have been 15 minutes. The building of character. Maybe even 30 minutes. I wouldn't have minded if it was just 30 minutes or so. Maybe it is. Maybe I need to look at the timestamps in the film. Once it comes out, maybe I'll be able to do that. But I think that length, too long, man. And then 2 points off because plot holes. No explanations for the demonic artifacts. No use of the dagger of the Pale Knight. It was useless. You didn't even need that in your film. No use of Jeremiah's like kind of inner demon shit. No explanation for that. You dropped the ball on that shit, man. You're gonna put eldritch, crazy shit in your film, but you're not gonna follow through. And actually, now that I think about it, that proves that your movie was pieced together and that there are scenes that weren't fully completed. Because why the fuck would you have a scene where you are literally displaying a dagger that the man describes as being from the abyssal layer itself, this black fucking crazy dagger with a fucking eye on it, and then stab Nick Cage with it? Deliberately show a scene where this dagger goes into Nick Cage. Like, there's the camera. It's right fucking here. It goes into him. Okay? There's a full scene. Nothing's done with it. Why? Why'd you do that, man? I don't know why I'm such a bitch about this, but anyways. Final review, 7 out of 10. Yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry if you didn't like this fucking review. I'm sorry I'm fucking everywhere with it, telling you about this movie, you know? But I hope you enjoyed it, you know? Let me know what you thought about the movie. Let me know what you thought about my shitty review and how my thoughts are everywhere. And I'm a dumb fuckface. All right. Take it easy, y'all. Have a good one.